The Minister of Communication, Esla Osu-Ekufo, says the registration of mobile SIM cards is expected to begin on 1st October 2021. The exercise, which will last for 6 months, will end on 31st March 2022. Any SIM which is not registered at the end of this exercise will be blocked, according to the minister. In a bid to rid the country's cyberspace of fraud, monitor and track down persons who use their phones for criminal activities, the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoudou Bawumia, recently disclosed that plans are underway to ensure that all Ghanaians with SIM cards register them using the National Identification Card, also known as Ghana Card. Speaking at the 5th Ghana CEO Summit in Accra, the Vice President noted that any individual who fails to take part in the exercise risks losing his or her SIM card. Quote, "We all have to do that, otherwise we'll lose that SIM card. That will really give us a real identity for all Momo transactions. For example, it takes away fraud that is taking place like Simbox and through Momo," he added. The Economic Community of West African State has ordered the immediate release of Guinea President Alpha Condé. It follows an uprising in that country on Sunday by some members of the elite branch of its army, the Special Forces, which saw the arrest of the Guinea leader. Mutinous soldiers led by Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya also proceeded to declare dissolution of parliament and suspension of the country's constitution and ask all ministers and key office holders of the toppled Condé administration to report to the State House Monday morning. In a statement, however, chairman of sub-regional group ECOWAS noted with great concern the political development which have occurred in Conakry, capital of Guinea. It condemned unreservedly the actions of the soldiers and demanded respect for the physical safety of the President Alpha Condé and his immediate and unconditional release, as well as that of all the arrested persons. The Ghana Airports Company Limited has commenced investigations into the circumstances that caused the aborted takeoff of KLM flight on Friday, September 3, 2021. The GACL in a statement said the pilot of that flight reported a bird strike close to the windshield of the aircraft. Quote, "The rescue and firefighting service of GACL was at the scene immediately to provide emergency fire cover. The aircraft was subsequently towed to the parking bay, where passengers disembarked and were transported to the various hotels around the airport," the statement said. Meanwhile, the airline has commenced processes to get passengers back to their final destinations as soon as possible. Investigations into the cause of the incident have commenced. Quote, "Management of Ghana Airports Company Limited wishes to assure the general public that it has a robust wildlife management system in place and remains committed to the highest safety standards of the airport." The first Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Maxwell Opoku Afari, says it's unsustainable for only 2 million taxpayers to carry the burden of the over 30 million Ghanaian population, even though there are over 16 million users of the various mobile money platforms indicating financial activities for which taxes should be filed. Just about 2 million are paying direct taxes. The situation results in a 12% tax revenue to GDP ratio as compared to an African average tax to GDP ratio of 17%. Addressing a public lecture organized by the University of Ghana Business School on the theme Rethinking Development Finance, Microeconomic Management When the Love is Gone, Dr. Opoku Afari said Ghana would not be able to fund its development goals with such a tax system. Dr. Opoku Afari called for an expansion of the tax net through the establishment of a simple tax filing system to incorporate all eligible taxpayers in order to, quote, increase tax revenues while reducing the per capita tax burden. Ghana was ranked 12th out of 54 countries in the 2020 Africa Infrastructure Index report conducted by the African Development Bank. The nation was also the second best performing country in West Africa behind Cape Verde. Ghana's ranking improved from a score of 28.8% in 2018 to 30.12%. However, this is far below the top 6 African country scores. For instance, Seychelles, Egypt, Libya, and South Africa recorded 94.3%, 85.8%, 81.4%, and 78.5% scores, respectively. For Electricity and Power Index, Ghana maintained its 18th position last year, but with an improved score of 7.74%. This means more work must be done to expand the electricity infrastructure. For the Transport Index, the nation dropped from the 14th position in 2018 to 16th position in 2020, but with a better score of 11.5%. When it comes to ICT, Ghana maintained its 14th position with an improved score of 26.6% last year. In terms of Water Supply and Sanitation Index, the country's score of 78.9% placed it at the 13th position, same as the 2018 rankings. Out of the about 5 million mobile phone devices imported into the country each year, 40% are smuggled through the ports and airports by dealers evading taxes to the tune of millions of Ghana cedis. In dealing with this challenge, the Minister of Communications and Digitalization, Ursula Owusu-Ekufo, has announced that Ghana has merged its Central Equipment Identity Registration Database with a global database which will see to the registration of all phones. She hinted that concerns of evading tax with such devices through unapproved routes will be dealt with. She further said that, quote, data from Ghana Revenue Authority confirms that 40% of these mobile devices enter the Ghanaian market illegally without government benefiting from the expected tax revenue. Ghana has about 34 million mobile subscribers with a mobile penetration rate exceeding 119%, and there is a huge market for mobile devices, she said. A group of soldiers who ousted Guinea's President Alpha Conde from power on Sunday have ordered the country's cabinet to attend a mandatory meeting on Monday. Those who refuse to attend the 11 o'clock GMT meeting will be considered rebels, a statement on state TV said. President Akunde remains in detention, but his fate is unclear. The UN, African Union, and regional body ECOWAS have condemned the coup and called for a return to civilian rule. Quote, I strongly condemn any takeover of the government by force of the gun and call for the immediate release of President Alpha Conde, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres tweeted. After hours of gunfire on Sunday, the streets of the capital, Conakry, are reported to be quiet, but it remains unclear if the entire military backs the coup. In a broadcast on state TV on Sunday night, a group of soldiers announced the desolation of the Constitution, the closure of the borders, and a nationwide curfew. Nigerians are concerned about not being able to reach their families in northwestern state of Zamfara after authorities shut down internet and mobile phone services. The shutdown comes as security forces fight to contain armed gangs who have been carrying out killings and kidnappings for ransom. The move, for an initial period of 2 weeks, followed a request by the Zamfara state government. An official of Nigeria's Communication Commission told the BBC. It came just days gunmen abducted more than 70 schoolchildren in the town of Kaya Maradun. The authorities believe the shutdown of the communications will help security forces track down gunmen behind the rising violence in the region. But there are also concerns that the armed gangs could move to other states where mobile phone networks are available. The Nigerian Air Force and ground troops are reportedly carrying out massive operations targeting camp of the armed gangs inside forests in the area. Israeli authorities have launched a massive manhunt after 6 Palestinian prisoners escaped from one of the country's most secure jails overnight. The men are believed to have dug a tunnel from their cells over several months that led to a road outside Gilboa prison's walls. Officials were alerted by farmers who noticed them running through fields. The fugitives include a former leader of the militant group, Al-Aqsa Matres Brigade, and 5 Islamic Jihad members. An Israel Prison Service official described the escape as, quote, a major security and intelligence failure. Palestinian militant groups hailed it as, quote, heroic. The alarm was raised at Gilboa Prison, a high-security facility in northern Israel known as the Safe. When prison staff carried out a head count at 1 o'clock GMT, they found 6 inmates were missing. The Palestinians are believed to have made their way out of the cell that they shared by digging a hole in the floor of their bathroom. The tunnel apparently emerged just outside the prison. Romelu Lukaku celebrated his 100th Belgium cap with his 67th international goal in a comfortable win over the Czech Republic in World Cup qualifying. The Chelsea striker, aged 28, raced onto a Hans Van Aken through ball to score with a first-time finish from the edge of the box. Van Aken then set up Eden Hazard to score his first international goal since November 2019. Lukaku flicked the ball on for Alex Selemakers to score Belgium's third. Lukaku is the 6th Belgian to win 100 caps, although he is still well behind current teammate John Vertonghen's record of 132 and still counting. Hazard is Belgium's 2nd top scorer ever with 33 goals, less than half of Lukaku's total. Lukaku was also booked, which means he will miss Wednesday's game with Belarus and Russia and can instead return to London now. Belgium top Group E on 13 points from 5 games, 6 points clear of the second-place Czechs. Wales on 6 points have 2 games in hand though. Arsenal impressed at the Emirates Stadium as they showed their title challenge intent with a victory over defending champions Chelsea in their Women's Super League opener. In a game of real quality in front of over 8,000 fans, Arsenal could not have put on a better show. England international Beth Mead scored twice in the second half after Vivian Miedema had opened the scoring. Aaron Cuppert leveled on a stroke of halftime for Chelsea, but Mead's double in 11 minutes put Arsenal in the driving seat. Pernell Harder's header set up a dramatic ending as Chelsea pushed desperately for an equalizer, but Arsenal, helped over the lines by the roar of their home fans, held on for a huge victory to kickstart their season. For traditional music artiste Sharifa Gunu, the saying that a prophet is not recognized in his hometown is one that has rang true for her over the years. Although her desire has been that her own people would appreciate her music, she has not been able to win the recognition of Ghanaians in spite of the great songs she believes she has been delivering. Sharifa Gunu said she had not been able to understand why acceptance for her craft was low in Ghana when she was cherished outside the country. Quote, "It's not as if I don't do good music. I produce fantastic music, but it's hard for me to be recognized here in Ghana." However, other countries appreciate what I do and always invite me to perform. I've been to different countries and the response there has been encouraging, she stated. According to Sharifa, she would have been a bigger artiste if she was in another African country. Popular Nollywood actor Zubi Michael has slammed Annie Idibia for calling out her husband Two-Face on social media. Annie took to Instagram on Thursday night accusing Two-Face of spending the night with his ex-lover, Pero. And he went ahead to say that the legend's family don't like her and try to do everything to disgrace her publicly. But Two-Face's brother, Charles Idibia, responding, accused Annie of using juju on Two-Face, adding that his brother is unhappy and dying slowly. He demanded that Annie releases proof of his family's wrongs against her. Zubi Michael, reacting to the development on Instagram, knocked Annie for bringing her marital crisis to social media, which he described as Market Square. According to him, a God-fearing woman with home training will not post such on social media.